Welcome, everyone. This is Pound Needles, and you're listening to LOTRO Players News, where we take a look at latest in LOTRO and hear LOTRO players. And this week, I'm joined by Krister,
Hello.
Anders, and Sanswinda.
Hello.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, and welcome to this week's episode, where we are going to start by looking at the latest update, Update 48,
Woohoo.
a glorious hunt. And a special note, the 19th anniversary has arrived. That's right, the Lord of the Rings Online is turning 19. Enjoy our anniversary event fun starting at 10 a.m. Eastern on Thursday. It means it's currently active right now and will remain active until 3 a.m. Eastern on Tuesday, May the 12th. And there is a link in the release notes to the anniversary guide, which talks about all of the new things that we have for this week's festival and where you can go and all of that. It also talks about the 19-year gift boxes, which for the free people includes friend shot of fireworks, the 19-year frame, and the title Quintessential Friend. Krister, have you had a chance to check out the box yet?
Well, I can't help but I need to get that frame in place right away so everybody can subtly tell who's been here since the beginning. That was often my favorite part with the kitten was like, oh, hey, guys. Hey, did you guys get that cool? Oh, wait, you didn't. Oh, never mind. But I love that's one of my favorite things anyways. I have no ego about that at all. It's just ridiculous. But I love the people who are like, well, I was here at beta. It's just like, well, I was here when it was real.
Well,
next, but I wasn't in beta, but I logged in the first week of launch, so close enough, right? So
okay. And I presume you'll be really happy next year when you get your 20th year frame and be able to.
Well, of course. I mean, that's the only joy I have in the world anymore.
Yes. So this year's celebration includes new missions, new rewards, and more. This means a quintessential cosmetic on the anniversary barter vendors. Oh, that's right. The 19. So there are cosmetics relating to the 19-year-old gift box, of course, with new fireworks and a portrait frames. The mysterious stranger inside the Prancing Pony has 4 new missions that are set in the Lone Lands and the North Downs. It made me start to wonder, does that mean next year we're going to get Evendim and the Troll Shawls maybe for mysterious stranger missions? And these missions are available to all players from 2 to 160 during the festival and all have delvings as an option. So I did run the new ones in there in order to see what they were like. One was based on that quest you have in the epic storyline where you go after all those war singers near Oscaruth.
Makes sense.
All right. One of them has, that area that's designed for grouping for fellowship in the North Downs, that fellowship area in there.
Yep.
Where you have to go in there and you need inspiration during the epic and all that stuff. One of the missions is based in that area, so you don't need inspiration for that one since now they were rescaled to be proper on that. So that worked pretty well in there. And one of them is to one of the areas that Michen sent you over near. Let's see. Well, in the fields of Fornost Way, on the corner of the fields of Fornost, near the border of Evendim. I forgot what the.
Nice.
Yes, and the last one is getting Candate's bow back.
Perfect. I'm sure he'll appreciate it. Multiple times extra.
Yeah, that we bring in during the anniversary, he gets extra bows back. Yes. So those are the 4 new missions. This is, of course, in addition to the 6 missions that they had last year. And as for special items available for the 19th anniversary, we've added a special quest to our 19th anniversary celebration. Speak with Waldo Rumble to take part in the new missions alongside existing missions activities to obtain a new Sunstone Drakeling. Waldo Rumble to take. Okay, this is. I haven't talked to Waldo Rumble yet, so I got to see what that's all about. Now, does Waldo Rumble give you some extra mission, or does it mean he gives you a
Maybe it's
rapper
a
quest?
rapper.
A rapper, and then you go to the mysterious stranger and the prancing pony. That's what I'm going to guess it is. Maybe I should go down there and find out what this is all about. Find new dog and parrot cosmetic pets available for barter for anniversary tokens, and a Jerboa pet, and fence housing decorations available to barter for steel token. And those fence housing decorations are going to become more important now because I think you've added fence decorations to some of the existing premium housing neighborhoods. Because I think that started with Lindleby. Was it the first one to have them? I think they might have. Yeah, so I think they might have added them to another area. I guess it might be in the release notes if they did. And
I think Lindleby was the first.
Yes, Lindleby. Okay. 19th anniversary surprise packages will occasionally drop from monsters out in the world. Yes, I have seen a few of those drop here. I did not know what that was all about or anything like this, but then I started seeing these boxes appear in me, and I opened up, and they're little, nice little gifts that you can get inside of those. And one of them was actually a dragon portrait frame.
Nice.
Yeah, that was nice.
Ooh.
Rivendell Housing opens on Thursday, April 30th. I know they were originally planning to have it open this week, but it looks like it's going to be happening next week instead, where Update 48 sees the launch of our newest premium housing neighborhood, the Rivendell Steadings. Nestled high in the mountains just to the west of the Vale of Imladris, players now have the opportunity to call Rivendell home. Rivendell Housing will open on the 64-bit game worlds on Thursday, April 30th, starting at noon Eastern. Are there any worlds that are currently active other than 64-bit worlds? I don't think so.
I don't believe any of the 32-bit
Right, that's what I
worlds are
thought.
still active.
Get rid of all of them.
Okay. Additional housing neighborhoods will open automatically once enough homes in existing neighborhoods are purchased. There are multiple ways to get the Rivendell Steadings. The main entrance to the neighborhood is a quick walk southwest of the Rivendell Stables, right before the Tree Bridge crossing. You can also access the neighborhood from Breetown via the broker's office, as well as the new Rivendell Steadings brokers boards in Lalia's Market. Okay, Lalia wants a share of everything, doesn't she?
Yes. Of course she does. She has to build her business, you know.
She has to build her business. She is going to. Before 10 years pass, Lalia is going to own all of Middle Earth. If you think Lotho is a
Do you
threat,
think Lotho was a threat? Just wait until you meet Lalia.
wait until you beat Lalia. She was scoping everyone back when she was lost in the Barrow Downs. That's it. Also, we have the new quest line, A Glorious Hunt. Experience the story of Mizadi's glorious hunt over 3 parts, released over time through the spring. Meet up with Shara Mizadi in Hana Miku in Pahar Arakali to begin your journey. The first set of quests is available with launch. Yes, I have done part of that quest line already. And the second set of quests unlocks on Wednesday, May 6th at 10 p.m. And the final quest opens up on May 20th. So they open up at fortnight intervals. A Glorious Hunt is free to VIPs and available in the LOTRO store for premium and free-to-play players. So have any of you had a chance to start working on any of this? I suspect not, but
No.
I think I've heard about it otherwise. But Sorry.
I have not. With all of the craziness of the worlds being up and then down and then up and then down and then up and then down. I was like, whatever. I'll wait till everything stabilizes before I mess at all.
Things did ping pong a little bit on the first couple of days. So I think there was at one point an issue where somehow a skill was affecting players or something like this. I don't know enough about it to know what was going on or anything like this, but I would presume someone saw something that could harm players, and of course, as soon as that happens, somebody goes in and exploits it, and they bring down the worlds.
Understanding of what happened is that it was especially bad for AoE damage. So, like, if you had 2 mobs in front of you, but you could AoE something with like 7 mobs, there was a chance that you would damage yourself. And apparently, this was discovered when people were running instances. And I have a feeling a few people died unexpectedly.
Okay, and there wasn't one of those priests of vengeance around or anything like that.
No, but similar kind of an effect where you're like, why am I losing morale? And status effects would also do it. So, like, if it was a bleed, the bleed would stick with you and tick. That was my understanding of reading what people were experiencing and hearing from the. It
sounded like an interesting way to make dating in low-level areas dangerous, but I was also at work.
Yeah, I was at work watching things pop up and just scanning them and clearing them as they came, and I was like, "Oh my goodness, that is hysterical."
Okay. And concerning loot boxes and barters, Rowan Raspberry has arrived to trade your Figments of Splendor for new and returning rewards. These new items are also available in Adventurers and Travelers Steel loot boxes. There are details in the patch notes talking about the various things that have been added. As for classes and skills, for the captain, Armor of the Dolos force bonus now works as intended, but the cooldown reduction per enemy hit has been reduced from minus 1 second to minus 0.5 seconds. Do you know anything about this set, Krister?
Not at all, no.
No. So this is probably something to do with the raid or the like.
That's what I would think, right off the top of my head. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So either the raid or the full fellowship instance. I suspect it's related to one of those because I haven't heard of this particular set, and nor has Krister. So, what about the Guardian? Sweeping Wound, Brutal Wound, and Overwhelming Wound bleeds now correctly benefit from trace reads, which increase the damage of their corresponding skills.
Anything that increases damage for a Guardian is good.
I thought you were going to say twice nothing is nothing or something.
Well, 2 times nothing is nothing, but also
it gives
you hope.
Shield Taunt no longer applies duplicate threat effects. The original animation for Smashing Strike of a Leaping Strike has been restored. Okay. Smashing Strike now properly inherits your weapon's damage type. Okay. And the tooltip from the trait Reckless Attack now correctly refers to Reckless Attack rather than Reckless Strike.
That's probably also good. It's nice when the text matches the action, but
right. And those are there are also changes for the Hunter, for the Lore Master. And for the Mariner, as for the Warden, they did say armor of the Woodcarver's heroic spear of fate buff potency has been adjusted for tiers 1 and 2. There's very definitely has to be some high-end set or something like this because I've never heard of. If I've heard of that set, I've used it so little that it completely slips my mind. As for crafting and hobbies, recipes for Murai Hunter tomes now have more generic names so that it is clear that they are multi-output recipes. For festivals and events, in the Anniversary Scavenger Hunt Quest 1 Travels Towering Monuments, visiting the Stone of Eric in King's Gondor will no longer advance the quest. The quest text now specifies that you must visit the wartime Stone of Eric in the version of Blackroot Vale that exists before the destruction of the One Ring. And when the Midsummer Festival returns, further home, we'll have a fishing supplier who sells fishing rods. That way you won't go, what? Where do I get a fishing rod? For housing and decorations, the housing deco item Umbari Property Guard now correctly summons an Umbari Property Guard when called upon. No idea what was being summoned before that. And added 2 enormous and 5 huge mobile yard hooks to the Lindleby Kinship Smile. Mobile yard hooks have a uniform coloration to help make them distinct from standard yard hooks. Fire pit hooks now use furniture-sized hook artwork to make using them and other hooks around them easier. Added a third property fence hook to the upper ring of the fences in the Lindleby Kinship Smile. All properties in Eastfold and Kingston neighborhoods now have property fence hooks. Okay, that's where I thought there was some place where they added property fences into existing places. So it's for the Eastfold and Kingston, in other words, the Rohan housing areas. All Belfalis houses now have interior light hooks. Note that the implementation of this system, most static lighting has been removed from Belfalis housing interiors. Players will need to purchase the light decorations from Amiens Furnishers to update the lighting in their homes. So in other words, if you're wondering why the light suddenly went out in your Belfalis house, this is why. I haven't checked in my Belfalis house since, at least not on the inside. So I guess I'll have to go there to find out what they're talking about. Who turned out the lights? And minor adjustments have been made to the entrance locations of each Belfalis house interior to help mitigate the issue where players could fall through the floors upon entering from landscape. Okay. And also, several items can now be used on yard hooks, and it gives us a long list of various items in there that you can now put onto your yard hooks. For instances and skirmishes, the Isle of Storms instance now scales from level 150 to 160 so that your 160 characters can get the joy of being ripped to pieces by this instance.
Wunderbar.
Yes. Some expansion packages that were incorrectly binding their cosmetic contents to character instead of account and are now fixed. So that includes the Fate of Gundabad Collector's Edition and Ultimate Fans, the cosmetic armor of Gundabad Reclaimer. So essentially the Gundabad stuff and the Minas Morgul stuff are the ones that were being updated on this. And as for baubles, the Ringwraith baubles earned on Angmar and Mordor will now populate correctly across the account. If you have previously acquired the item to earn the bauble skill, you will need to use the bauble skill to populate the reward across the account. If you have not previously acquired the item to earn the bauble skill, the first time you collect the item, you will receive the item on all characters in your account. Also, a set of cosmetic items have been upgraded into baubles. These items have been transformed into consumable into consumable account-bound scrolls, which will teach you the bauble skill effect the item used to generate. As a reminder, to view baubles, open the collections panel, Shift C, and being the default, and look into the bottom tab on the left. Now, these include rotten fruit, sack of petals, flower petals, Helene Gate fireworks, Yellow Star fireworks, Orange Star fireworks, White Tree fireworks, Dragon fireworks, Pinwheel fireworks, Willow fireworks, Soaring Pinwheel fireworks, Incandescent Lightning fireworks, and the Mighty Ram fireworks. So most of these are fireworks, and a few others are related to the Yule festival, with the rotten food and the sack of, and the petals. I would presume that you loved getting. I guess you got about 5 or 6 new slots after you consumed those.
I did.
Yep.
It was nice.
Yes. Yeah, that was nice in there, and now I don't have to worry about carrying around all those fireworks in my bag. They're accumulating, because while I said 5 or 6 in there, I think Krister had a lot more than 5 or 6 in his bag.
Too many.
Probably.
Too many.
The worst part of that was that I just cleaned my bags out and I just felt good about myself for freeing the inventory slots. And then I opened that thing and my entire backpack filled with candles.
With candles?
Oh, with candles. What are you guys talking about? Sorry.
They turned the fireworks that stay in your
Oh,
inventory
the fireworks. Yes,
into
my
baubles.
backpack's filled. Well,
Now
candles are kind of a
leave your-
firework.
Bob,
If you think
now
about
leave
it.
your inventory and are a skill thing.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. They should do that with dwarven candles as well, I think, is my thought process there.
I agree.
But if you think about it, candles are kind of like a firework, but in terms of their excitingness as a firework, they're the lowest rated type of firework. It's just a flame.
Yeah,
But yeah, so doing that is it feels like there's several other things that could be added to that to do, to basically retire it out of your inventory. It would be wonderful.
Yeah, but certainly a step in the right direction.
Yeah, agreed. I'd love to see the inventory counts go up on the carry-alls too, where you could just put maybe infinite.
Okay. Now, let's look at what changes they have to the landscape. Camels can now be used in Thorns Hall and the hall under the mountain.
I don't know how I feel about that. Do you think a camel belongs in Thorns Hall? I can't even picture that. Poor camel. My hair is freezing.
Well, maybe the camels are related that go into Thorns Hall are related to some long extinct candle that lived in an environment more appropriate to
Dwarven camel.
There, yes.
When are we going to get war camels? That's what I want to know.
You're still looking for war. We haven't gotten war goats yet. So what are you expecting them to get? War
I think I think they should war everything at this point.
All right.
Even the wooden pony, it should have like a blade mounted on the front of it. That would actually be pretty funny if you could ride around on that wooden pony, the wooden horse, but you could also use it as a weapon to attack people with. Never mind. I'm sorry. I'm getting too speculative here. Please continue.
Yeah. And they adjusted the landscape scaling LOTROs on monsters levels 61 through 80 to more consistently scale their equipped effects. Primary effects, soothe wounds, and the other status removing effects to always be level 80 removal, as well as the intermittent power and morale, which also now has a flat restoration amount. So fixing some little items that they had relating to the 61 through 80 zone. As for the Legendary Worlds, Angmar and Mordor will increase their level cap to 105 on Wednesday, June 3rd. The legendary item level cap also increases to item level 250 at this time on Angmar and Mordor only. From June 3rd through July 15th, extra plants will spawn in North Ithilien and the Wastes for flora containing specific extract files on a weekly rotation. To help plan collection forays, plants and Verdant extract will be more common from 6.3 to 14, Umbar extracts from 6.10 to 24, Crimson extract 6.17 to 7.1, Sapphire extract from 7.24 to 7.8, and Amber extract from 7.1 to 7.15. So I guess they're hoping that people will be able to use these to more effectively collect their flowers. Though I thought most people would just ignore those things.
Yeah, I did the bare minimum with flowers and moved back to killing people.
Yes. Yeah. There is that. For quest deeds and adventure areas, the barricades now have sound when they collapse. In the Minas Morgul instance, the Harrowing of Morgul. Well, it's nice to know that they recognize this. And the web trees will now appropriately be sized flames in the Morgulvale quest, the trees of Tarlingal. And the quest objective direction in Crocodile Hunting Daily has been corrected. Well, this is nice that they're now sending you the right way. It's always nasty when you get an arrow pointing one way, but you actually need to go in the opposite.
Right?
Yeah. As for reputation, Hamat Renewed now extends to the celebrated tier. I don't think I ever got to the ever reached kindred with them, so I guess that doesn't bother me much. And the favorite standing for Hamat Renewed now grants 25% bonus for the honor tier and 30% for the celebrated tier. As for UI and miscellaneous, players are now able to use the Loot All button to loot bound to account items from containers when they are in a fellowship. A confirmation window will appear to allow them to confirm their decision. And that's as opposed to where you had to click on every individual item in order to say that you wanted to bind it, which is always a real pain.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when the person that was in my fellowship was Mizadi. Confirmation
Yep.
windows for bind on acquire items are now able to be suppressed via checkbox. And added an edit UI button on both the system menu and the UI settings page for the options panel in order to increase the visibility of UI customization. This was originally only accessible through the control backslash shots. I think we discussed control backslash a few weeks back.
Yeah, that's nice that they're doing that, frankly.
Yeah, after 19 years.
Yeah, because I remember that was more tribal knowledge than something you figured out by yourself. It was more,
Right.
oh, I can do that?
Yes. And that is it for what's in update 48. And as I said, the 19th anniversary has arrived. We already discussed that while we were discussing the release notes. So head on over to the party tree, to Bree, where they have their fireworks stations, to the Prancing Pony, where they have the missions, and there might be one or two other spots that I can't recall at the moment. But those are the three big spaces that I can think of for the anniversary. And as a reminder, Rivendell Studying opens next week. And they did post the prices for the Rivendell housing. And that's over on in the forum. I do have a link. There is a link to that, but I have the wrong link in the show notes. Oh well, I will fix that in there where they tell us, they gave us the pricing for what's in there. I will get to that in a moment. And Kings of Harad outfit slot number 7 is also the Kings of Harad package, and the outfit slot number 7 is now available in the LOTRO store. So you could head on over to there and get it for LOTRO points if you are unable to. Let's see. I think I got them all wrong. Okay. Well, we will fix that after the show. Now let's go into store sales. Sans, what's on sale this week?
Well, this week you can pile up double bonus points plus. You get double bonus points plus an elixir of virtue through May 3rd in the LOTRO store. You can also stand out from the crowd with 30% off select shared wardrobe, select cosmetic outfit slots, mounted combat trait specs, and select cosmetics, also through April 30th. Or through April 30th. That is less than May 3rd. And the weekly coupon gives you free Max Morale and Power Scroll times 5 with the coupon code Healing Knowledge. That would be HEALINGANOWLEDGE. And that is good through April 30th.
All right. Then let's then head out and look at what our questions for this week are. Actually, we have a response from last week's question from Looney and Centers. What does Looney say?
Looney says, "Hi all, in response to the last podcast player question, yes, I lock my bars because there have been too many times in the early days of losing skills when playing. I am a clicker, and in the heat of battle, skills can get dragged off bars if not locked. I have gone into keyboard settings and linked the lock skill bars to my delete/key on my number keypad. It makes it very easy to lock or unlock when I need to do so. As far as UI changes, yes on that too. I move lots of things around, but the biggest change is on my healing classes. I make bar 4 vertical and move it along the right side of the player characters that I am in a group with. And if in a raid, it would be in between the two groups, if that makes sense. But since I am a clicker, I can click a player that needs heals and then click the heals with minimal amount of moving the mouse. Other than that, the changes I make are more about resizing things so the screen is less cluttered. Thanks again for keeping this show going."
Thank you,
Looney
Looney.
Finn.
And now let's have a look at what this week's questions are. Sans, what's the first question?
Our first question this week is there a way to check how much time you've spent in game?
Don't
Is
do
it
it.
per character
Don't do it.
if you use the in-game
Don't do
command
it.
to check?
No, don't ruin your life.
I have to
Take
say,
this
when I
command
wrote this
into it.
question, I had not spent very much time in game, and I was in awe of people who had. And now I don't want to know.
No, yeah, that was an embarrassing moment when I typed played in, and I was like, oh my I think my life is truly a waste. But I'm kidding. It is actually interesting to see how long you have played. But it can be kind of shocking to realize how much time you've dedicated to this as well.
Right.
Yeah, it will. So yeah, there is a way of doing it. I don't think I've done it in a while. I think the only time I ever had checked it is when there was a discussion going on while I was in game about how long we've played or something like that.
I think it is /played though, isn't it?
It is. Yep. Yep. That's an exciting moment, finally.
And I think it's a per character check, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah, because you and me might be hovering at actually playing this game for like an actual year, you know. You know what? I really don't want to talk about it anymore, frankly.
Yeah.
I have no regrets. I've been very happy. Video games have been a great part of my life. And Lord of the Rings has been a part of our lives for almost 20 years. The game, the video game, 20 years. That's pretty insane to think about. That's I think that's a testimony to how great this game is. So.
Totally.
All right, so the answer to that one is yes. Just type in /played, and it'll tell you how much time you have spent. I think it's on that character, right?
Yep, and just work through feeling bad about yourself when you look at that time, and just know that you built this wonderful character to adventure this wonderful world, and that's all that matters.
Well, if you want to look like it's a small number, just go into one of your low-level alts instead, right?
Yeah, although is it? That's a good. You know what? I didn't even think about that, but that would be. I thought played was your overall playtime, but it might be played as just the playtime on that character too, which could be even much worse now. I think about to add up all the time between all the characters I played. Although that being said, 99% of my gaming has been with my captain. So,
well, so
Now-
if you,
So I have a question.
Yeah.
And I don't know. We might have to check this and come back to it next time. But you know how like changing the servers made times a little bit wonky, so like you can have stuff in your inventory that now doesn't expire for like 200 more months.
right?
Does that change your /played time?
that's a good question.
A good question. Well,
According to this,
Or
I
is
started
it
playing
might
this game in
not.
1403.
Actually, if it's played time, if it's accumulated played time, we're actually logged in, then it has to be keeping track of how much time you're actually in there and not taking a difference and not doing a
Based on
comparison
the
difference.
server.
So I think that it will most likely be actual play time with that it won't be affected by that would be my best guess, but I have not actually gone and verified that.
All right. New goal for this week, verify.
Yeah. Now, there is another thing that could tell you is that if you have the Steam client, you could of course look at Steam there, but that of course will be how much time you have spent. Probably it might be with the launcher up, or maybe with the launcher or the client up. It'll only be counting time in
And it
which
would be
LOTRO is active by what it's sensing by either the launcher or the client being up in there, and it
and it
won't
would
be
only start when you get Steam and launch it through Steam.
right. Right. Of course, it won't count.
So it
any time
wouldn't
you
have
before
like
that.
anything before you got Steam. If you
Right, because
played without Steam before.
Yeah, because I originally played without Steam, and I switched to Steam at some point through the process. I switched over to the Steam client. So yes, that only works is if you use the Steam client for that. Because right now it's saying 26,000 hours. But sometimes I've had the launcher in the background while I was doing something else. So obviously that will skew the information a bit.
Totally.
All right. So what's the second question?
Our second question is, can you see when a character was created? If so, how? I cannot see when a character was created.
I
Yeah, I can't think of anything that would show you.
Yeah, because there've been a couple times where I've been curious as to when I created a particular character, and I actually had no idea on how I could figure that or anything like this. I just had to make a guess or something like this. I mean, probably the only character in which I could determine an exact date on when I created the character would be the pine leaf on which which server is the original pine leaf on? Is he on Sting or on? Because definitely not. I'm trying to think what are the active servers that we've got right now. We got Peregrine, we've got Sting. Is there a third North American server that I'm trying to think of? I'm
Yes.
not counting Angmar.
Right. We have Peregrine, Sting, and the one that all the raiders went to that got really full.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
Okay, yeah. You see, I can't even remember what that server is. That shows you how often I've been there. And I think,
I believe it's Glamdring.
Oh, Glamdring.
If it's
Okay,
not
Glamdring.
Glamdring, it's Orchrist, but I think Orchrist is the EU.
Or Chris is you. You are. Yeah, I completely forgot about Glamdring. Yeah, I believe the original Pine Leaf is on Glamdring right now, and the fact that I can't even remember the name of the server tells you that
You haven't been on it lately.
I haven't been on that car because that used to, for a long time. That was my main character. I mean, my main character since the day Moria launched.
Fair. That was a while ago.
Right, and that's how I know when the character was created. The character was created on the day Moria launched, and the one that's on Peregrine, that's one that was done, that was created after Mirkwood was done, because that's when I started hearing about about Landreval and the whole thing about Weatherstock, and started doing stuff relating to skirmishes. And so those are things that started to get me involved in the community and the like. So therefore, that would, I think, was in the springtime after the launch of Mirkwood. So I can't pinpoint an exact date on that one. Why I could, if all I do is to look up the date that Moria was released, and that's when I went on, when I created the Pine Leaf that's on Glamdring. So yes, outside of remembering something like that, no, I cannot think of any way to know when a character was created.
Yeah, I haven't found a way to do that either.
All right. I guess if anyone does know a way of doing it, they could send us a letter similar to what Looney did. And anything else anyone has about the two questions this week?
Where can they send a response?
Well, you could send a response to podcast@lotroplayers.com. Or you could try replying to the YouTube version of this, or you could send a. Is there anybody else you could send a reply?
You could submit a comment on the LOTROplayers.com show notes page.
Yeah, or on the show notes page on there. I suspect I'm more likely to see it if it were sent through the podcast at LOTROplayers.com, because sometimes I forget to check the other two locations. I did this week, but I do have a habit of forgetting those other two places. So if you can send to podcast@lotroplayers.com, that will probably be the most likely one in which we will be seeing it. Now, let's head into our week in Lotro. Krister, what were you up to, and does it sound like you were playing a Mariner or something?
Well, thanks for blowing it. So in the spirit of creating a new group, as I was creating my character in Angmar, I was like, what kind of class am I going to play? What class appeals to me the less? Well, because I'm a captain and I'm a dedicated captain and I'm captain through and through, and captains are the only class that are viable in Lotro. I knew that it was the Mariner. The Mariner, trying to elbow in on a captain's job, trying to take it over. Hey, I'm a captain. That means I can be a captain on the land or a captain on the sea. See, captains are captains. Mariners are the guys that the captains order around. Okay, so I decided to play Mariner. So I will embrace what I hate and see if I can find some common bridge between my love of the captain and my suspicion of the Mariner. So this week I created my Mariner on Angmar and played him to level him up so I can participate in the group. And you guys are going to have the most surly, most angry. I'm going to have the biggest parrot, and I'm going to have the biggest giant whatever that weird accordion tube thing is that they play. I'm gonna have the biggest one. Mine's gonna have bangles and spinners and like neon lights that go around. It's gonna be a party.
Perfect.
So prepare yourselves. Light, sound, and fury signifying nothing. That will be the goal of my character.
Light, sound, and fury on a concertina. Okay.
It can happen.
I believe in your ability to make this happen.
So that was my endeavor this week, is to get my Mariner up to snuff so I can adventure with you guys on Angmar, and I'm excited to see how this turns out. So I am trying to just spend time because I've got myself off the page here. Okay, there we go. And Cinders, what were you up to?
I rolled a new Guardian to start an adventure through Middle Earth with the LPN friends on Angmar. And we got to level 8 on the first run out last Sunday, so that was a lot of fun. I did remember to water my garden plants and feed my sourdough starter from Brain Adventure, which you can check out on the website, the LP website, as Sincere Cinders. And I also ran a run of the palace with the Ploy folks before all of the updates went into effects and the servers went down and all of that good stuff. So I haven't done a ton of gaming, but the little bit that I have done,
I rolled
I had
a new
lot of fun.
Runekeeper to start
Sans, what were
adventuring
you up to?
through Mossward and helped feed some hungry guards. That was pretty fun. And I drank from an anniversary keg last weekend in preparation for the start of the anniversary this week, and ended up at the Crossroads again, which is the most frequent location for that character to end up at drinking from the anniversary keg, it turns out, lately. And I discovered it is much less intimidating at level 150 than it was before I used the Valar. So that was kind of fun. But yeah, I was hitting it at like level 30, level 49. I was like, you know what? I have this level 150 Valor sitting here. So I used the Valor the last time I hit it. And then when I hit it this time, I was like, oh yeah, this is not intimidating at all anymore. And then I did some inventory management for Sandswinda. And am really, really, really liking that the permanent fireworks turned into baubles. That was super helpful as soon as I figured out what all those papers in my inventory were. So that was pretty much my week this week. How was your week, Penleaf?
All right. My warden started adventuring in the newly released area, heading out, starting a glorious hunt, shall we say. And I also ran the 4 new anniversary missions, and I discussed earlier what they were based on. For the field trip, the Merry Crew headed into northern Mirkwood, so we said bye-bye to Mordor and headed up to Aaron Lasglin, or however you pronounce that, where, of course, we are now dealing with elves. I know there's some people who say, oh, maybe I'll go back to Mordor. Okay. And for Friday Night Fight, we ran the Wraith of Fire, attempted Doom of Karis Celebrin, and then ran Protectors of Thongwad plus the anniversary fireworks instance. And that's it for my week in gaming. Now,
I have a question.
Yes.
For Cinders. What is the height of your new tank?
Yes.
What is the height? Because I'm hoping you were brave and strong and you went ahead and got a taller, much taller tank. Because frankly, you could go nowhere but up in terms of height. So is your tank a different, taller tank? Or is it a teeny tiny tank? Because I'm thinking teeny tiny, but I'm hoping tall.
I think you will have until tomorrow to find out.
That sounds like a short person talk.
There was much discussion and debate.
Yeah.
I'm trying not to.
Don't the
Okay.
other two of you give it away.
Now, earlier, I was trying to talk about the prices for the new Rivendell houses, and it sort of had something went wrong with the link. Well, I finally got the link fixed, and here are the prices that are for the new. There are 7 houses in there. First, there are 2 standard houses, which are each going to cost 360 mithril coins or 72 homesteading coins. So it seems to be a 5-to-1 ratio then for that. If you get the one at the deluxe house at 2 Torrent Path, then that will cost you 600 mithril coins or 120 homesteading coins. If you get the one Heiberg Road or the one Welling Way deluxe houses, then they will cost 500 mithril coins or 100 homesteading coins. If you get the deluxe house at 3 Welling Way, then that will cost 475 mithril coins or 95 homesteading coins. And if you get the kinship house at 2 Welling Way, that will cost you 1,110 mithril coins or 222 homesteading coins. I don't know how that fits within any of yours budgets.
I have well, okay. Will they accept a burrito, a sock, and half of a comb
I don't think so.
as payment? Oh, okay, yeah, you're right.
I think I might actually have enough for this one, Langerville, so I just have to see what the houses are like and decide which one of these would be appropriate for Pine Leaf, if any.
The one that has indoor plumbing. I'd say that would be a good selling point right there, right?
It would be a good selling point for sure. I'm just trying to think that considering how high these houses are you gonna I think you'll just I'm just thinking getting water up there in the first place much enough in order to have indoor plumbing.
Well, you just employ some hobbits to pump the water continuously.
Okay.
Hobbits, continuous line of hobbits with buckets going up the stairs.
I was thinking you're saying, okay, well maybe there's some mountain springs that feed down into the housing neighborhood or something.
That would be cool. You think the doors could set us up with some of those, the waterways that would bring the water down from the mountains? Well, that'd be beautiful.
I guess we'll have to see how it looks and what's appropriate in order for there. But considering that the first standard house is called Torrent Pass, I guess there must be some sort of waterway going through there.
That sounds like too much water, though, if you think about it. Can I have just a small creek as opposed to torrent, please?
You want to set up a reservoir, a cistern, a cistern, so that
Perfect.
you have feeding your indoor plumbing.
Yep.
All right. Anyway, those are the 7 houses within the new housing neighborhood, which, if all goes well, will open up next week. If you would like to contact us, you can send an email to podcast@lotraplayers.com. The Players Alliance has 2 shows. On Saturdays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, we have LOTRO Players News, and we record DDO Players News when Drac is available. You guys join us for our shows at lotraplayers.com/live. And that is all for tonight. And this is Piney Needles reminding you to skirmish responsibly.